Well, hello and welcome to the I Trained You podcast. I'm Coach Brandon Adams, and today has just been a fantastic day. You know, when you start thinking about how kids improve and why they improve, I mean, it really gets me excited. A lot of times players are out here and they have no real direction. They're over there watching either video games, looking at moves, or they're on YouTube, or they're on Instagram, or they're on all of these other little crazy things, and they still end up and they're not very good. That's all right, because we're going to change all of that and use this podcast really to help kids, help parents, help coaches, help other trainers to know that we are a community that's about improvement. If you love this sport, if you're excited to be a part of basketball, then you want to tune into this, because at the end of the day, you're going to be learning from subject matter experts. And this is what I tell my children, my biological children. This is what I tell my family. This is what I tell my friends and all of my businesses. I say, look, become a subject matter expert first. That's the number one thing you have to do. I don't care what it is in life. You become a subject matter expert. Then number two, be the best version of yourself, whatever that looks like, with your health, with your wealth, with setting up your family stuff, your estate, everything. Be the best version of yourself, stepping forward every single day as the example that you want to live. And then finally, of course, surround yourself with people who inspire you. And that's exactly what I've done. And so we have Coach Nysear Byrd. We have Coach Brad Pinchback. We have all sorts of other people. We have a superstar guest that's coming on today. And so my job is to help facilitate and help us to understand, why should kids tune into us? Because we help kids get from where they are to where they want to be. Who cares that I played for Miami? That's irrelevant, because what happens now is that those days are over. How can I make you better now? What does that look like? And so we have an incredible panel of guests and really superstars that have gone through the journey. And as a parent, you're looking for, how do I make sure that my kid is in the right fit with this particular school, coach, AAU program? Are you in an AAU program for the politics? Are you in the AAU program because you want your kid to win? Are you in your AAU program because you want exposure? If you haven't thought about those three things when choosing an AAU program, then it's a problem. And then let's say you get cut from a program that you would love to be a part of. Guess what? That's giving you the exact formula for what you're going to need to be successful. Because if your kid doesn't look like those kids that have made it, then you need to identify an educator like a Nysear Byrd, like a Brad Pinchback, like an Akil Charles, that will help you, and many more. I'm not just saying these are the three gentlemen that are with me on a weekly basis, but you need to send your child to someone that can get you from 0 to 60. And it's not that things might be bad. It might be something that's in your communication that needs to be tweaked. It might be something in your kid's style of play that needs to be tweaked. It might be the way he goes into, I saw a kid a couple of days ago, and he really wants to play college basketball, but he shoots the ball. He starts it from right here under his chin, and he starts to launch it to the basket. And I said to him, I said, son, how are you going to attract college coaches if that's not a marketable shot? I don't care if it does go in. Like, you have to be hecka on in order for that shot to go in. And the coach say, I want that kid, because you're going to have to be that much farther back, because you're not making the defense have to close out the same way. And so that is a problem. And if you don't know that, then you need to get with Nysear. You need to get with Brad. And there's so many more coaches I want you. Just call me and I'll tell you who to get with, because they're great people. They're great stewards of the game, and they're great friends of mine, and they inspire me every day. And so without further ado, what's up, buddy? You're muted. What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
Man, how are you guys doing today?
It's fun.
Let me tell you, Nysear, you weren't here this weekend, but Brad, you were. And Brad, you got a chance to see some kids that are going to be special. And one of those kids, you said was a really good shooter, right? You remember?
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So he's a freshman. He's a ninth grader. So this joker says to me, he says, Coach, I think I can beat you shooting. Nysear, you already know what's going to happen next. But he said, I really believe that I'm going to beat you shooting. And I said, okay, and so I don't shoot, I don't practice or anything like that. And Nysear, you could tell the story of what happened with the other young man a couple of weeks ago. But let me tell you, Brad, Caden can shoot, man. I mean, he had me down. Like, we played horse, all threes, all NBA threes. He had me down S to H.
Oh,
I
wow.
had to reach deep into my hurricane history, pull out that victory. I mean, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to shoot from half court. This kid was absolutely phenomenal. I was so proud of him. His father was watching. His father was like, you needed to not choke and close him out. And what I really wanted to say to the dad is Dad, you should have been talking to me, because I was the one that was insecure at that moment. I was the one that's like, wait a second. If I miss this shot, he made me focus so hard. He's 14 years old. What are kids looking like as shooters now this year? What do you see? Are you seeing a lot of these kids shoot like this?
Like kid?
Yeah. I mean, that's a tough call. I hate to call out names. I don't want to put them on the spot. Caden. But that joker, he really he deserved a shot. Didn't he, Brad? I mean, you didn't see that
Oh,
game.
yeah. That was the first thing like that me and Clay talked about. He was knocking down. Number one, he was picking up every move you showed him. He was picking up and doing the move like he was supposed to right off the bat. Like, he picked it up very quickly.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he was knocking down every shot.
So I mean, you guys know this. So you all three of us are trainers, but so we have a curriculum, right? And so for the community, and so this curriculum has a design to it. There's 15 modules that we teach from, and so breaking frames of the defense is one of them. And we'll talk about it when we do our film session. But I agree with you. This kid is all in. So we have this thing called Leadership 24. There's 24 principles of leadership. And I believe until you become a better person, you can't become a better player, because it's only going to be temporary. So this kid comes up to me and he says, Coach, I got the first 10 memorized. I said, do you? He said, yeah, and in alphabetical order. Come on, guys. Alphabetical order? I said, that's what I'm. And so he got all of them right. So I'm super pumped to be a part of all of these kids' lives and careers. So it's good stuff. So we got the NBA getting ready to come out. Didn't we have some games this weekend? Did y'all see any of the preseason games?
Oh,
I
watch.
did.
Yeah.
You don't watch. Yeah, you're too good. You watch the playoffs. So,
The
yeah.
playoffs.
I understand. Well, I don't know about you, Brad, but I enjoy college basketball better than I enjoy the NBA until playoffs. Is that the way you guys feel?
Yeah, to a certain extent. It wasn't always that way, but definitely now.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to throw in the in-season tournament to kind of get the intensity up, but playoff basketball is like 10 times better.
Yeah.
They bought that in probably from overseas with the
Mhm.
in-season tournament. The pros overseas, they do something like that.
Yeah, they do.
Mhm.
So as a matter of fact, Akil's sister, she I think that's what happened last year. And in the WNBA, they actually have this rule now that if you're not there for training camp, then you can't actually play the whole season.
Oh, wow.
So she was in an in-season tournament, if I'm not mistaken, and then that bumped her regular season back a couple of weeks. And so she had to either leave and come back to the U.S. to get to training camp or finish the season. Really, really, interesting what they're doing. They're trying to make one more important than the other. And I think for the women's game, I mean, we've seen so much growth. I mean, we talk about Kyla, we talk about Abby. We got so many of them that we could talk about. And, I'm loving where the women's game is headed.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, if you think about it, when the WNBA first came out in like 1996, it was over, like, I feel like at the end of August. Now it's October and they're still playing. So it's making sense that people are starting to say that, this game actually is more fun to watch than, you know, so many, sometimes it's more fun to watch than men's basketball, to be quite honest with you. More fun to watch. So guys, I know we have a special guest. So Brad, tell us a little bit about who's coming on the show.
Well, his name is Jordan Reed. He played professionally overseas. Well, initially he played JUCO ball, and then he dominated at that level. He played at Wheeling University in West Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
and then he played overseas. But then he came back just this past year. He was actually an assistant coach at Wheeling University, but he's left his options open as far as going back overseas to play as well. And he's also played with some U.S. What do they call it, minor league pro teams.
Yeah,
He's played with that too. He's played on that too.
Well, let's bring him on. Hold on, let me see if he's on there. Jordan, your mute is on.
Oh, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man.
Man, I guess they can call you a player and a coach now, huh?
Yeah, both. Yeah,
How
player
does
coach.
how does that feel? Like, are you? So look, I'm a basketball head. I played for Miami, and then I chose not to play overseas just because I was, I don't know what was wrong with me. That was a big mistake, Nysear. But the idea that at my age, I'm just as passionate about basketball as your age and Nysear's age, and when I was a kid, it's incredible. Do you feel like you're going to be a part of this sport for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I think that basketball was one of the things that pushed me to be where I am today, and just the hardships of it, the good times, the bad, the mixture of emotions and everything. I think it was be a part of me my whole life. So like whether if I could help a kid get into college or train somebody, or even now I'm starting to get into reffing a lot. So I ref a lot now. But I think just the game will always be a part of my life.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
25.
All right, so you came out at 25. So you came out of high school in 2017,
16.
2016. Okay.
Yeah, I was young when I graduated. I was only 17 years old.
Where did you go to high school?
Albert Einstein. I went to high school in Albert Einstein, Montgomery County.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so I was, deep in. I was actually working with girls basketball more than anything. So I was Kyla Charles's handler. I don't know if you remember her. She was the #1 player in the city.
Yeah, I know, kind of.
Oh, you know Kyle. Okay, good stuff.
Yeah.
So you're on the show too. So so let me ask you. So you went to Einstein, and how were you guys ranked? Like, were you guys in the city, or were you guys?
But they had like county rankings, I guess you could say. But Einstein wasn't really known as a school to be ranked at all, like basketball wise. Like when I first came there, my ninth grade year, I think the year before, they were probably like 2-21 or something like that. It was bad. It was real bad.
Sounds like Barry in the past, right, Nasir?
Yeah, for sure.
So if you don't mind me asking, what position do you play? How tall are you?
I'm 6'1". I play point guard.
So, like, this is the crazy part, because at 6'1", for you to do what you've done with basketball is phenomenal. And you may not think about it this way because I'm 6'6", so you know, because of my height and my size, it's always, hey, you play basketball, right?
Yeah.
So for you, you had to do things that were extra special to really get people's attention. And I'm
Right.
so glad you're on the show, and thank you for coming on. What is one of the key things as a freshman going into high school? How tall were you?
Coming in high school, maybe 5 feet, 5'1".
What?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I'll definitely vouch for that, Coach.
Oh, he had to drop the mic on that. I thought you dropped the mic on that.
Nah.
Like, damn, 5 feet tall. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So at that height, no one really took you seriously at that point yet. Is
Nope.
that the way you felt?
Yeah, that's the way I felt. Yeah.
So then what was either the change in you? Did that drive you even harder to want to be a basketball player? To say, I don't care if I'm 5 feet, I'm going to be the first 5-foot player in the NBA? Or how did that work for you?
Yeah, so I mean, coming into high school, you know, even in middle school, a lot of the kids was bigger than me. But one thing that my father always taught me growing up was just don't ever let nobody outwork you ever. You know, and I brought that that mindset in the high school. So even though I was 5 feet, I'm like, shoot, somebody could be 6'6", they can be 6 feet, but he may be able to block my shot, but he's not gonna outwork me through the course of the full game, or he's not gonna outwork me in workouts. Like if I lose a sprint, I take it personal. That's how I was.
I love it, man. I want kids to hear that because they don't understand the reward that comes from that, right? That sacrifice, because it's actually still drives you, right?
Yeah.
You don't want anybody to outwork you in anything,
No,
whether you're
nothing.
coaching, whether you're training. And so your father did you a solid, and my hat goes off to any father that's out there that's impacting their kids' lives. So you start off, did you play AAU?
Never played AAU.
You never played AAU. So
I played in one tournament, like it was like a showcase, but after that, you know, my mother, she couldn't afford paying for AU, and because I was as short as I was, nobody seen, you know, the talents and gifts that I had, so they weren't going to sponsor me. So I kind of had to train myself outside before I met Pinchback, and when I came into high school is when I kind of first met him.
So you go to high school not playing AAU,
Mm-hmm.
and so you have to rely on 100% of your exposure on Einstein's basketball team.
Yep.
So you have taken the road less traveled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because all of these athletes out here, and I'm super proud of you. So all of these athletes out here that are getting, because the whole goal is to play as long as you can, right?
Yeah.
And so, and if you can get to a point you get paid for it, great. But you want to play as long as you can where there's value. So you meet coach, and you guys start a relationship, and he starts teaching you the game so that you can become more marketable.
Yeah. So we had met. We kind of met in a team situation first because he used to always work us out as it was like a group workout, and you know, I used to go to every workout and try to pay attention to what he was teaching, you know, the better players, and what he was, you know, everything he said I always listen, no matter if he was talking to me or not. And you know, when we was in a weight room, when we would go to the weight room before he would work us out, I would always try to just work harder than those guys that were more talented than me and, you know, bigger and stronger.
So where did you say, all right, now I'm going from outworking kids to I'm better than kids? Because obviously you're picking next, when you're playing against somebody, you're picking up that kid.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you that, there's a difference between you and I. When
Yeah.
did that transformation happen?
I would say that transformation happened maybe when I was not until my senior year, because I was injured a lot in high school, like a lot. I only played 10 games of varsity ever in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I broke my leg my junior year playing football, so I had to sit out that whole year. And that year, Einstein was, you know, very good. We actually made it to the region semifinals, and I missed that year. And then my senior year, I broke my hand, and I was available for the last 10 games.
So that journey that you've taken, your journey has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller.
Hmm.
And so that tells me that the smaller your path for success, that means your focus had to be extremely high.
Yeah, yeah. I think when I came back from injury, coming into my first game of varsity ever, You know, it was a lot of nerves during the day. I was thinking about the game over and over and over. But just that effort and focus to get back on the floor, just to be running and just to be walking, and was a blessing to me. And it was a lot of times where I did think about quitting. I did think about just going to college and getting an education, but um, just perseverance. Like I said, my dad instilled stuff in us. Um, we didn't grow up with him, but he was there in the early parts of my life, and you know, it just stuck with me.
It's a great story. So within your journey, like what you've done is great because let's say the school that I'm the head coach of, and Nysear is actually the head coach of the middle school. I'm the head coach of the varsity. Can I say that, Nysear?
Yeah, you can say that.
Say that. Okay, so maybe it's public now. Okay, but it wasn't. It's my bad. I'm sorry. Anyway, if it changes, it changes. But politics. But anyway, um, we're with kids that all have hoop dreams.
Hmm.
They've been on that same path that you were on, right?
Yeah,
And so, what was some of the critical things that happened in those 10 games
yeah.
after that put you in a position where somebody would call you and say, I want to give you a shot for the next level?
Well, during those 10 games, my first game, um, I surprised myself. Just me shooting the ball well. I think I ended up with 19 or 18 points, something like that. We played against Rockville, and I was playing against one of Pinchback's clients, Ben Weebush, and I took the matchup personal just because he had a lot of success early in his career, and you know Ben was one of those guys. He's very friendly, but he always talking trash. Always talking trash. Was friendly. So I kind of took the matchup personal, and he ended up actually not even playing because he got in some trouble or something. But it didn't matter to me. Once we warmed up and everything, I was focused. I was locked in, and it was like my dream of playing varsity. Because as a kid coming in, I was so small, and everybody always looked at it as like, oh, you may not play varsity. One time, the coach even said to me one time, he's like, you're never going to make the team. And just that moment, just to play varsity and have my mom, my stepdad there, and all my friends waiting for me to play, and finally get to see me play after a year and some change. That was one of the biggest moments for me. And you know, since that game, and even after we won, Ben, it was in the handshake line, and he was telling everybody, he was like, "I'll see you guys when we play you guys at home." That's what he kept saying to everybody in the line. And that certain things, like little things to me, motivate me. Just those little things, because I always remember them when I'm working out and it gets hard. And even after those 10 games, and I averaged 19 and 6 and I think 2 assists. Even after those games, I was honorable mention all county in 10 games. I still didn't receive an offer from a university. So it was one of those things where I Pinchback was helping me. He was like, well, maybe we should go the JUCO route. So I was just looking around at JUCOs after that.
And so you went to JUCO. So where did you go?
Yeah, so I actually had a workout at Frederick Community College, and the workout, it didn't really go so well because, I was still about, maybe like my senior year, I was probably like 5'8", and the workout didn't go so well because I, I just wasn't shooting the ball well. I was getting tired, the college level things is a lot different. And he talked to me, Coach Hill talked to me after and was like, look, he's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, you're not good enough to play at this level. But if you wanna be a part of the program and work your way towards being, a player at this level, then I'll bring you on as a part-time. I was a part-time student, but he was like, I'll bring you on as a red shirt, and you could practice with the team and work out and try to get your way onto the team. So that's the way I went.
I love it. Let's jump back because a lot of parents are going to listen to the story and they're going to say, that's my kid, right? Because there's more kids that are seniors that are 5'8" that have hoop dreams than there
Yeah.
are 6'8", right?
Yeah.
That's just the law of averages right now with our heights. So where do you think you went right? Was it the JUCO route, getting lucky because that coach then said, "Hey, keep going," and gave you a chance?
Mhm.
How did that really shape for you to be able to say to another kid, just keep playing, just keep driving, just keep
Yeah.
grinding?
I think that it went right for me when I just stayed around the right people. I stayed around the right group of friends. I stayed around the right mentors, and I stayed around Pinchback. And um, actually, when I end up from the time I graduated that summer to the time I came into school, I grew to 6'1".
Okay.
And I would brush my teeth one morning. I'm looking at my brother, and I'm like, "Oh, we eye to eye. Hold on, what's going
Oh,
on here now?" So, and then the athleticism start coming in, and I start being able to dunk easily and just being able to move. You know what I'm saying? But I was still skinny, but I just had a lot. It was a lot coming on me, like I was growing up, because I was 17 when I started college, and during the course of the year, everything just started coming in. And I'm like, okay, I think I can do something. I think I can really make some noise now.
so we don't really talk about the professional side of the sport, on the show because, more parents and kids, we want to be able to be a resource for them,
Yeah,
talking about skill sets that are necessary. But you talked about your athleticism. So you said you were able to dunk with ease. So
yeah.
what was that process like in terms of your conditioning? So you must be, were you able to dunk at 5'8"?
Nah, kind of. I could grab the rim. You know how people try to dunk. Like I was one of those people that would just try to dunk all the time. That's all I wanted to do since I was a little kid, just dunk the ball. So I
Okay.
would just try. I grab the net. Try to grab the rim. On good days, I could touch the rim with 2 fingers.
Okay. Okay. And so at the highest for your athleticism, how high were you getting up off the backboard? Were
Oh,
you touching
you talking about at my highest athleticism?
yeah. Were you touching the top of the square? Were you
Oh yeah.
okay?
I could touch the top of the square now easy.
Nasir, you need to get his number, okay? You're a little taller than him, and Brandon can jump as high as you.
I'm flat-footed, man. That's over.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Hey,
So,
Coach, let me cut in there for a minute.
yeah.
Jordan,
Yeah.
tell them about your boxing background, because I believe that contributed to your athleticism.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So my father was he was a world champion actually. He boxed. Fought on Showtime, Friday Night Lights, ESPN, HBO. And he kind of, that was the first sport that we was taught when we were little, was boxing. And that's one thing I think that also separated myself, was my conditioning was always at an
Mhm.
all-time high, no matter when I came into school. Um, and the sport itself just teaches you how to grind it out by yourself, like, because
Yeah.
when you're in the ring, it's nobody there to help you. You by yourself. Either your corner will throw in the towel, or the round ends and you go talk it over. But after that bell rings again, you go out there and you by yourself. So I think that that did have a big impact on my journey as well.
I box and I love it, and I'm not very good, but I'll tell you that I believe that if I had boxed when I was a kid, I would have been an NBA player. The ability to take a hit and keep moving, to
Hmm.
accept that level of physicality.
Yeah,
There's brutality to it that's different than football, but I love the idea that I'm throwing a punch, you're throwing a punch, and I've got to be critically aware of my environment to be able to shift and move, and that's what we're doing on the court.
yeah,
We've got to be shifty and be ready at a moment's notice to be able to go in a different direction or be able to protect ourselves and
hmm,
then throw on some offense. So
yeah,
that's awesome. That
yeah,
Do you still box?
yeah. I still go to the gym almost 3 times a week with my little brother. We both still train all the time.
Are you in the area now?
Yeah.
That's excellent. That's excellent. So Nysear, we're gonna have to have him come out. Brad, we're gonna have to come out and well, we're gonna bring Wayne too, Nysear.
Yeah.
Wayne is one of our buddies. He's actually the athletic director for Barry, but he's actually a prolific boxer and also a former Harlem Globetrotter. So and he had a what was his vertical? Was it 48 or 50? He held
No,
world
no,
record.
no. It was 40. It was 42.
No, it was higher than that.
I'm
42. You could jump 42 inches off the ground.
I don't know about that.
My bad. So, one of the things, Jordan, that, Brad, Nysear, and I are looking to do is to really help athletes set a plan for themselves, right? And obviously, Brad helped you with a plan and he
Yeah.
supported you through it.
Yeah.
So, do you think that you could have done this without your coach? I mean, without Brad or just your high school coach? Would you be?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think. No.
So having someone in your corner
Hmm.
that's not your coach is critical to a lot of these kids' success.
Very. I mean, one thing Brad always did was he always told me the truth. And sometimes, even as a kid, you'll have coaches that tell you the truth, of course, but hearing it from someone that you have a closer relationship with, helps out a lot. See, my mother, she was one of those parents that she never got too much into basketball. Like she watched the games, she'll come to the games and support me, but she was never one of those parents that talked to the coaches like, "Oh, why my son not playing?" She always, let me have that like let me have my own world in that sense. She never, tried to step in and be like, "Oh, my son needs to be playing this, be playing that." You can ask Pinchback. He worked me out over 100 times and maybe only spoke to my mom a handful of times. So like she let me have that, and I think like you gotta have mentors and you gotta have people that's good for you in your ear. If your parents are always in your ear, like, "Oh, you should be playing," or "This coach is not good for you," you don't really learn as much. And just by me coaching in college and playing overseas and doing all of what I did, I learned those little things. You gotta have mentors. You gotta have mentors.
Well, what are your goals now? What is it? 20 years into the future, what is Jordan Reed doing?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think I do like officiating. So if I was to give you a clean cut answer now, I would say definitely officiating in the NBA or one of the Power Five conferences.
So, but you still play now. You might go back overseas.
Yeah. I get deals all the time. I had a deal to go back play in Vietnam. I got a minor league deal to play with the Frederick Flying Cows. I get contracts all the time. It's just for me, I feel like now this part of my life is to give back to people that are accepting and want to learn and want to make it to a certain level.
Yeah, no, that's real. Nysear, you got anything you want to talk to Jordan about before we go into our film session?
I had a question, but I forgot it. But I do want to, I do want to say that your story is definitely inspiring one, and if you spread that message to students and players and athletes, I think that they really pick up on it and understand what it's going to take to get them to that next level.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely appreciate that, man. I just think a lot of these kids nowadays they see it. It's so accessible to see on Instagram and social media that all these players is getting all this attention, and they think that they don't got to put the work in. See, the work is never shown on social media nowadays. And all my workouts, all my days I used to cry because I'm like, why am I not getting better? Those is not shown. Only thing that's shown now is the accomplishments I did, and even all of you guys as ball players know, like all that work you did that nobody never seen, and then they see you on TV or they see you in the game, And that's the product they see. So the kids now, they just see the finished product, and they don't see, what it took to get you there.
Yeah, that's real talk. Brad, take it away, buddy. What do you want?
Oh man, I had one. I'm just as bad as Nysear. I had a question right on the tip of my tongue that I was going to ask him and totally forgot about it. Or it might have been a comment. It might have been a comment.
Well, it comes
But
back.
no, I'm so proud of Jordan. I mean, a lot of people would have stopped. A lot of people would have stopped right when he's coming into school at 5 feet 5'1". He's maybe a little tall. I think when we started working together, he was maybe a little taller. I'll tell you this. Tell you what I did see. When I had, it was mostly varsity players working out in the weight room. This kid was out working them.
Right.
He probably was outworking every player, maybe except for, hey, were you in there with Micah, Jordan?
Yeah, I was in high school. I was in high school with Micah. Yeah.
Okay. Micah was a really extremely hard worker as well.
Yeah.
But he was outworking every kid. Now, I remember one day, do you remember the day I had to pull that weight off you?
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So he was trying to go a little bit too hard that day. But, I was watching all the guys. Who was in there with us? It was another coach was in there with us.
I think it was Justin was in there.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Howe was in there. That's what it was.
And as soon as I saw, your position on that, I think you were squatting or something.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, this, and that's when I started walking over there. But yeah, the work was always there with this guy. So it, that made things easier. Yeah, that made things a lot easier.
So, one of the big things, Jordan, that we believe in is just like, you break down game films and trying to understand why you did something, right?
Yeah.
But more importantly, when you start looking at the highest level of player, whether it's Steph Curry, whether it's LeBron, you start looking at, okay, what are the physical attributes? So your physical attributes would maybe match more like Steph Curry, right? And somebody else's physical attribute might be Paul George or whoever else. But the goal is to understand why they were successful in that moment and maybe if they are doing something that's repeatable. So in our program, we call it hard attempts. And so when you create a hard attempt against a team, then it's some dynamic movement that you make against the defense that draws those eyeballs to you. Then if you score because of it, like a Kyrie would or whatever, then we would say that you got 2 hard points or 3 hard points.
Okay.
But then if you kick it to someone on that drive because you drew that double team, as long as that person doesn't have to put the ball on the floor, you would get a hard assist if they score because you made it super easy for them.
Yeah.
And now if they do put it on the floor, they do like something else to try to shake the defense off, and you still might get the assist, but we call that a soft assist.
Okay.
Or if somebody throws you a fast break and it's just a layup, then that's a soft points.
Yeah.
So we tell our kids, our players, that when you're dynamic, it's something that's reproducible game in and game out.
Yeah.
When you're a role player and you're getting soft points, then that's not predictable. That might be random, that you just got lucky and the ball kind of was in your area and the starting line. And so you can't get better as a player unless we're going for a certain number of hard points, certain number of hard assists, certain number of hard rebounds, certain number of hard steals. And so now every possession matters. And so you're trying to collect these hard stats. And that's a building block that you can use. And we use the game films to watch players and how they operate with those hard points, hard assists, hard attempts.
Right.
want to set that tone because I'm going to ask, if you don't mind, as we watch this film, if if you would make some comments.
Okay.
And before we do that, I did have I remember my question.
Go ahead.
So my question is, you mentioned getting injured a lot, especially early. So
Yeah.
how did you stay motivated and determined to get to that next level?
I just always told myself, you know, God wouldn't put you in a position that you can't get through. So, even though I was getting injured and it hurt getting back, especially when I broke my leg, man, it hurt so bad, man. Just to bend my leg hurt so bad. But
How'd you break your leg?
I was playing football and it was a comeback route and my foot kind of got caught in the dirt and I got hit and snap. That's all I hear. That's all I heard. Snap, like literally. But yeah, I just kept God, close to me, and I really always used to ask myself, why me, why me? But I wasn't looking at it as, one day I woke up and I'm like, well, let me stop asking myself why me and why not me? Why can't I come back from this? I can. He wouldn't put me in a position where I can't. Because I didn't have to get surgery. If you look at my injury and the way it happened, usually a lot of the doctors that looked at it, and it was two different doctors, they was like, I don't know how you don't need surgery. So I just kept at it, man. And I was one of those kids. I had so much energy. I was always bouncing around in school, yelling in the hallways, and even Pinchback sometimes like, "Yo, calm down, man." I just stayed motivated, and I always wanted to be around my friends. My friends all played basketball. They was all better than me. A lot of them was way better than me.
What about now? What about now?
None of them's better. None of them now. None of them now. They kind of went about their ways of life. And the biggest thing for me was my best friend, Arnold. He stayed close to me during that whole process, and even though we played different sports, he always worked out with me in basketball, and we always went to the field together. And even him doing that was a big motivation for me. And now, shoot, I went overseas, and he plays for the Atlanta Falcons now.
Oh, that's a great story. So I'm gonna invite you to come out. Nysear, let's see if he's willing to come out. If you want to play on Sunday morning, we'd love to have you come out to our Bethesda facility and some pickup run and have some fun. Brad, are you available Sunday morning?
To do what?
Oh, just to watch.
What's that?
Man, just to watch, man.
Yeah, man. That's about all we doing these days.
Dust those authentic
60 is not the new 40, man.
Dust the authentic Air Force Ones off and let's get out there, baby.
I'm out to do what? Yeah.
He said Air Force Ones.
Yeah, you got the prototypes. 60.
Hey, man.
Let's look at this video here. We're gonna just break it down, and there's some commercials that may come up, but the goal is for us to kind of take a look and and just see how these guys approach scoring, and what you would do either the same or different. All right, we got to get through this.
I watched this game live too. I remember. I watched this game.
All right, let's see here.
It's the legendary Steph Curry snap.
Yeah, I watched this game. I remember. I'm like, man, God dang.
Dude, you know what amazed me is how close you and Steph were in size, like overall size, when you took that picture with him.
Yeah, when I met him. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, this is right before he goes over there. Look how young dude is.
Did they call an illegal screen? What did they call? Oh, holding on Harrison Barnes. I see it.
So when we watch full games, we go through and we'll notice that, like in a per possession situation, like he's coming down the floor. We call that a dribble circle. They're doing, their skill action right here within their play. They're looking for something. And so would you guys say that on this particular play here, first of all, I think that's a great pass.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? But is the play for him to shoot the ball on the right side of the basket or the left side, and then why? Any of you guys pick it?
This play is it's like point action. So is that Andrew Bogut who just threw the ball?
Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah. He's kind of making the decisions in this offense. Curry, he thinks that they're gonna chase the screen. That's why he tries to slip and get an open layup. But Andrew Bogut, this offense is not like a clear set. So Andrew is kind of reading what they're doing. If you go back to the first, go back one more. Yeah, so they're trying to get into it right now. So now they're into point. Now keep playing. Now he's gonna screen away and just see what they can get out of it. Now they're in the point. So he's going towards the ball. See how they both slip?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's open. Curry's open, but he sees Draymond, so he's anticipating that Draymond's gonna be open. Because OKC must either trap a lot of screens or they must hedge on a lot of screens. That's why they both slip.
Well, the play would have been the Curry.
Yeah.
He's the most open.
Yeah, I think he had his mind made up about. They probably talked about it before the game. Like let's try to hit the slip. Let's try to hit the slip. Right? So he kind of had his mind made up already.
Yeah, I can see that.
So one of the things, it's impossible with him being so low catching the basketball for him to actually try to score on the right side of the basket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's got to be able to get and use the rim to help protect him.
Yeah.
He's got to be able to do it. And you see, it would have gotten blocked if he would have gone on that side. So we talk about kids that when you catch the ball, if you're below that first hash above the block, you got to be thinking the other side of the basket. Now, he wasn't skillful enough to make that shot, but at least he was aware.
Yeah.
He was aware. So look at the quality of the ball handling coming down the floor. He's using the dribble circle, bringing the ball down the floor. That allows him to be able to pass and also put the ball between the legs as well.
Mm-hmm. Secondary break.
That's crazy that he would shoot that. But he's not shooting at a Golden State anymore. So what would you guys see here? Obviously, Nysear, go ahead, break this down, Nysear, for how you see it from a skill perspective, and then Jordan and Brad jump in, once he gets started.
So I will say he's a little bit in the pro slot. Like I guess he's on the edge of it. But he could be the first player on the club. All right, so he called for the pick and roll because he wanted Draymond on the one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
But he got that paint touch right there.
Yep, he got the paint touch. He drew Curry eyes in, and then he passed it to, I don't even know, Roberson in the corner?
Yeah. But, and the beauty is, if you could see that Curry, Roberson moves right into the blind spot of Curry.
Yeah.
Yep, got to do that.
Nobody's paying attention to him. And if you also notice, like Clay is an excellent defender.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent defender. This is before his injury.
Mm-hmm.
So right here, when Draymond has him, he's shifting Draymond. He's trying to break Draymond's frame.
Yeah.
And he does a decent job of it. Draymond opens up and recovers, but I believe that Roberson was the play from the very beginning.
Yeah. Based off them, it's like a minor elevator screen. They spaced out, but based off of where the screens were, it was for Roberson. So you got Steven Adams.
Steve Adams was supposed to set a screen on Curry, but he got lost.
And then you got Ibaka. He
Yeah,
set the screen in the paint.
Yeah.
He just screens the air.
Yeah,
That's pretty good defense by Draymond though, because
Yeah, it is.
Katie usually gets gets guys moving with that with that float dribble pattern that he does.
Mhm.
yeah. More dribble circling coming down the floor. We want kids to see that they're dribbling legally. They're not having their hands underneath the basketball, but they are keeping it in their hands more than it's on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Was that an alley-oop?
I don't know. What?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
It got blocked. Florida that got blocked. I don't know.
So what do you guys think? Like, Russell Westbrook has had one of the most unceremonious careers. Like, it's almost like people don't respect his game. He puts all the work ethic, Jordan, that you were talking about earlier. But why is it that, he's looked upon almost like a black sheep? What are your thoughts on that?
Hey, I'll take that.
Take it.
All right. Russ has not had most players, the longer they play in the NBA, their shot tends to develop as their athleticism goes down.
Okay.
And with Russ, it was almost like his shot has gone down almost as his athleticism has gone a little bit down. Russ is still athletic. He's still strong. He's still explosive. He's not as explosive as he once was, but I definitely feel that he is not respected in today's NBA because he is not a shooting threat.
No.
And I mean, it's sad because we're talking about a guy who's definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's got to be in the Hall of
Fame. And at one point, he looked like he was going to develop into at least an average shooter. And that's what has led to the team, him hopping from team to team at this point. Guys are playing way, way off of him.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is at times he still manages to get by guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's some guys, he may have played a little too long. I don't know. He's probably chasing a championship.
Because he doesn't have one, right?
He doesn't have a championship.
Yeah. It won't even mean the same.
Nope.
Because, I mean, and let's go back then. Are Kevin Durant's championships real for you guys?
Yeah.
I'm gonna let them answer that, Coach, because
they're real. I mean, is it respectable for everybody? No. But even on those Warriors, it's Steph. Like, don't get me wrong, it's Steph. But on those Warriors teams, I don't think they win without KD.
Well, they won without him before he got there, right?
Yeah. Draymond might have another answer.
Yeah, I think that the championships, as far as his individual performance during the championship run, I respect that.
Yes,
he did have very good individual performances, but I think that also KD, his championships are kind of overshadowed is because, like, what have you done without Steph? What have you done before you played with Steph? And Steph has won another one without KD. He's won
that's
before.
True. That's true.
So, that may overshadow some of his championships in people's mind. But like I said, you can't knock his individual, performance with that team.
Yeah.
So question: up 3-1 on the Warriors and ended up losing. Do you leave after that?
That is my as a basketball player, you can't be up 3-1, let a team beat you, and then go join them the next season.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's like when LeBron and Kyrie came back from 3-1, if they beat Steph and then Steph or Clay or one of the big three just go to Cleveland after because they beat it's just not right to me.
But I'm not sure we were surprised at Kevin Durant the way we were surprised at Steph Curry or anything.
Yeah.
Kevin, Kevin played. I love Kevin. Kevin played for my high school coach, and so I've got nothing but love for him. I respect him as one of the greatest players that have ever played, and I think that had he stayed with the Thunder, I think they go farther that next year and possibly could win it. Like you got Serge, you got Steven Adams, like that's just too good of a team.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't let everybody simmer.
Yeah. I mean, and then you had what, a year or two before you had James Harden? Like,
they went to the finals that year.
This was one of the most amazing teams ever. So I'm just disappointed that we didn't get a chance to see that. We might have been talking about OKC the year after winning 2 or 3 championships in a row. If he stays and they get another role player. Anyway, so what do you guys see here? So if you're Steph, how would you address this, Brad? The screen might be coming from Draymond.
Okay, yeah, that looks like the screen is coming from Draymond. Well, I'm going to read how they play it once he sets that screen. You see what I'm saying? Because Steph got too many options. Like Steph can pull it from right here.
Yeah,
but you go from having a guy that's 6'3", maybe 6'2" on you.
Right. I got you on that.
11.
I want to see how. I want to see far out. Is that KD at the top of the key?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not asking for that screen. I'm rejecting.
Yeah, I want to see how Steph reads this.
He's got to read it as a what, though? He's got to read it as a what. No matter what he's doing, if he's passing, is he going to read this as a shot or a drive?
He could honestly.
He could do either, man.
Yeah, he could do either.
He's so good with the ball and such a great shooter that he could do either. And look at the defense right now.
Yeah.
Like look where he's at right now. Steph got options. Like if Steph pushes that ball through to the right, is he going to be able to open up in time to stop anything?
So what I see is I see an opportunity. He's got Roberson and Russell Westbrook way more than 12 feet apart, right?
Yeah.
So you got Kevin Durant is above the 3-point line. So if he figures out a way to get past Kevin, especially on Draymond's side, he's got an advantage going down.
Yes.
And so you got 6'11" on your hips, but then that kick out becomes super strong. I mean, Roberson has to come over hard. That kick out to Clay. Otherwise, Steph is too crafty with his finishes. So, we don't know what's going to happen yet, but that if I'm Steph, I'm thinking, all right, why would I take a long contested three, although I'm the greatest shooter ever shoot? Why would I take that and burn all of my energy trying to get past or get the shot above this guy when I could really work on being a point guard and touching that paint and either scoring off of it or making a kick out? Let's see what he does, guys. Oh,
push cross, light up. See, KD was not going to recover from that. Boom.
Too late.
So look at his feet, though. Look at his stance.
All right, so let's talk about this, because this is important. And then we're going to close out with this. I know we've gone, it's 10 o'clock, so I know we're going overtime. But let's talk about this for a second, because I think the movement that he has here, he's looking to get Kevin Durant to contest his shot where his right foot is his top foot.
Gotcha.
He's looking for that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got him on his heels, and look how Kevin has to jump, and he actually switches and floats to his left hand to be able to contest. That gave Steph all the time in the world to release that shot. So I don't know. I think Steph is a master at setting people up, and I think that we'd be a little naive to think that he's not purposely looking for a certain style of movement right there. He's looking for that. So, and if you notice, Nysear, he doesn't test the DPL, does he?
No.
So in our program, Brad, what we say is that right here, Kevin, when Steph goes in this next direction, Kevin's playing the drive. So Kevin drops and opens up for the drive.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you notice, Steph does not actually go towards the drive. Steph actually goes away from Kevin. And now Kevin is in a closeout position, which actually makes him in that closeout shorter, because now he's got to take a step forward before he jumps. I just think the dude's a master.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he could have hit him with so many different things there. He could have hit him with he could have peeked at the rim and then just blown by. You know, that's going to be a tough matchup. Even though KD's taller and longer, that's tough to deal with.
But when we're talking to young kids that haven't developed their jump shot like that,
right?
You know that, you know, really your job would be against a guy like Kevin Durant. You're trying to get by him, attack his hip, so you protect the basketball, try to paint touch, try to get that kick out, because you automatically know the psychological force is that those 5 players are going to be, you know, coming down the hill. That's a strong dude. That's a strong dude. Look, guys, I love it. We are overtime, but it looks like we could keep doing this. And this is what we want. All right. You know, I just want to say, Jordan, I really, really appreciate you taking the time out to spend a little bit of your good knowledge with us and help kids and parents to understand that really something that might have seemed like an impossible journey, you've made the impossible possible. So thank you for that. And thank you for your kindness and what you're doing to contribute to the sport that we all love. And as you take over from everything that we've done, we know the sport is in good hands. Thank you.
Definitely appreciate you for having me, man.
All right, Brad, you got any final thoughts?
Nah, appreciate Jordan for coming on today. I think we'll continue to have these type conversations. I think it will help. It'll definitely help young players. It'll definitely help young players' parents. So, you know, to see what Jordan went through, because I remember one time it seemed like every time I was stepping to Einstein, you had either a boot, a cast.
We got to call you Lucky, Jordan. We're going to call him Lucky.
Like you did. What's that, Coach?
We're going to call him Lucky, huh?
Hey. Nah, but he worked for this. You know what I mean? He was lucky, but his work put him in position to be lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So, Nysear, what you got?
I mean, if anybody takes anything away from this, is that with the right determination and prowess, you can will your way to anything that you want.
Facts.
Jordan, we'd love to have you on again just to hang out, talk basketball, all that good stuff. So if you're open, we'd love to have you.
Anytime, Coach.
And any of the parents or players that are on here, you guys can look in the description. You guys can give Coach Nysear a call or reach out by email, Coach Brad by email, Coach Akil, who wasn't able to make it tonight, by email. And, we're here to support you. Our goal is to take you from, good to great and great to spectacular. And it can't be done unless we take this road together. All right, you guys. Thank you. I'll see you.
All right, Coach, later.
Thank you.
All right, guys.